the UK government knows very well the numbers of people that we have trained and supported over nearly 20 years, a number of whom were not able to get out. I mean, I spent nearly 4 years in the country in a number of roles in NATO, roles from combat roles all the way through to advising ministers on policy and strategy. And therefore have been privileged to see many of these units, these specific units and units like them, fight bravely and loyally alongside the Brits. And many of them did not make it out. You know, that you saw on the news at the time, the throng of people trying to escape Kabul it just meant that many people just could not get through.
Yes.
Legitimate people who'd been told that they were going to be evacuated. And every week I'm still being receiving requests on social media and emails, etc., from people saying, please, what's happening? You know, I've not heard for 2 years. You know, I'm being targeted. My family is at risk. And sadly, some have been murdered. I know of a number of cases that have been murdered brutally in front of their families. And it's not on. We have blood on our hands.
It is shocking to hear these stories of your comrades in arms being hunted down in this way. Some of them made it onto those flights out of Kabul, but so many didn't. It was a bit of a grim, grisly lottery.
Yeah, I think that the intent was laudable at the time, that we were genuinely trying to get as many people out as we could, and the troops and other members of government departments, you know, locally forward, tactically forward, were doing everything they could in their power to get as many out in the time frame available. But some were left behind, and unfortunately, over time, the government has become distracted by other, you know, equally legitimate areas where we've sought to help refugees like Ukraine and elsewhere. And it feels like they've just lost interest in these people who believed what they were told by the British government, that they would be helped, they would be supported to be evacuated, because everyone accepts that they are absolutely at risk of being killed or tortured if they are found, and they just feel completely let down and betrayed.
But everyone accepts that they're at grave risk, those who have survived. But it is said, isn't it, within government, their right to come to this country, alongside other Afghans who have been allowed into this country, is not being accepted. They're not being given the rights that were promised and given to some of those who were part of British operations. Why on earth could that be? How could that be justified?
Well, the evidence is from that report that you reference is pretty damning. You know, the evidence provided by the Afghans themselves and the reasons that they've been given for refusals or rejections very late on in the day on technicalities that we know, if people were honest, are just not true. I mean, 2 days ago was Halloween, and that's the anniversary of a mission that I was on with an Afghan unit, where an Afghan in front of me stepped on an anti-tank mine and disintegrated in front of me. And I then had to try and find as much of him as I could, so we had something to give to his family to bury. So to be told, as many of these people left behind are, that they didn't have a close enough relationship or demonstrate enough of a relationship with the British to justify being removed, is just, you know, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, I can hear the outrage and indignation in your voice. I think it suggested that America have had a hand in barring the way to these people leaving the country and coming here. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of that detail. I just, from those cases that I'm aware of, and there are still many who are left behind, they were told that they had been accepted into the ARAP scheme and have the emails to show that they would be supported, and they're still relying on the word of the British government that is now being reneged upon. And they feel very let down and have nowhere else to go. They've just been rejected with no right of sort of recourse or appeal.
Well, I'm John Pienaar, and if you found that interesting, we are here each day, Monday to Thursday, 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock on Drive, and from 7 till 8, Pienaar and Friends, where we discuss the big stories of the day each day on Times Radio.